invading their time.
Exactly.
Even though you're giving them something.
They're fast-moving and beautiful. Even Jedi birds are scared.
I'm also very grateful for the fact that you removed most of the risky ones.
Well, not all.
I have to say that it's the first time I've ever seen my mother in a bath before. But seriously, lots of happy memories there, and good to see the breadth of photographs that you managed to come across with. Still to come, of course, is the famous birthday song rendering, which we hope you all be in good voice to help us with. And also Chris, who's our acting media director for today, has very kindly put together some of the film clips that we've managed to receive from our friends in Oz.
Oh, good.
Oh, good! So there'll be one or two people that you might recognise suddenly popping up at the end of my little. And then it's time to blow out the candles, Mum. All 90.
You'll be lucky.
For anyone struggling with the arithmetic, this all started around 1925 in a small Yorkshire town near Halifax, when Mum was delivered by a stork to William and Hilda Bates. The Bates family were a very well established family in the area. They owned mills, and they also owned machinery manufacturing capability that made the equipment that was used in the mills, and that stuff was sold all over the world. The earliest dates that I've seen on the Bates family tree, believe it or not, is 1552, which goes back a while. And at that time, John Bates and his wife Alice had 10 children, and as I looked down the family tree over the successive generations, there were frequent numbers of families that were in the 10s and 12s, and I have to say that Mum, I'm very glad you stopped at 7, because Paul here, who's been looking after us at the George, said he really couldn't have fitted very many more in. In 1925, of course, the world was considerably different. Believe it or not, milk was 3 old pence a pint, beer was 5 pence a pint, and the average wage was a £5. So a little bit different to where we are today. And believe it or not, in June of 1925, it was the driest recorded month in the let's get it right, the driest recorded month in the 20th century, with only 0.17 inches of rain. So global warming in 1925 as well. Yeah. Sinister events as well occurring. Mussolini had decided to take over Italy, and Adolf Hitler had published in 1925 his Mein Kampf book. So Second World War type looming in the background. But in Sawbury Bridge, the developing Bates family grew up, went to school. Some even went to very posh schools in North Wales.
Been pulled down.
which had a very large outside swimming pool called the Irish Sea, I believe. And Mum will tell you, if you talk to her later, that she was telling Mo and I when we went past it a few years ago, that the girls would all get their towels and slip down every day to have a dip in the Irish Sea. Correct?
Yes, it was either that or walk up the mountain.
Oh dear, not much of a choice by the sound of it. These were, of course, formative years for Mary Bates, and it was good early this year to have the opportunity of tootling around Halifax with Mum, relying entirely on Mum's sat-nav to find our way around. Left, right, lights coming up here. I didn't need my tom-tom at all at any point in time. And despite the fact that Mum hadn't been in the area for quite a long time, she knew all the places that we had to go to drift around places like Hollings Mill Lane and Chew Lane, do you remember? And it was great fun. And tootle along the edges of the River Calder. So Mum grew up a true Yorkshire lass. In her late teens, of course, Mary Bates met and married a newly qualified doctor. Far too young, mother. And moved to Cheshire, then on to Wigan, Northern Ireland, Derbyshire, and more recently, of course, with Mo to Welland Close, or WC as I like to call it in Northampton. I'm always struck and impressed when, with the benefit now of some years, Mum, I reflect and marvel at the amount of work that you undertook when we were all children. Apart from the need to look after, wash, iron, shop, clean the house for the growing 7 dwarfs, provide an answering service for a GP practice, help the local Girl Guides, undertake for periods part-time and full-time work at such places as Meals on Wheels and Winnick Hospital. Happy days, eh? And of course prolonged periods at the time as a magistrate, plus the gardening, house painting and decorating and lots of other duties. Very impressive. You worked really hard, I know now, over that period. Notably, during that period, Mum passed her driving test and the Ford Popular emerged. And I have to say, Mum, as far as I'm aware, you've still got the fastest entry on 2 wheels along the Hollybank Drive.
I'm sure you wound the cine up to make sure I was fast.
Well, the 7 dwarfs have all grown up, as you can see around you.
Yes.
And I think, Mum, you can be really proud of the work and the way that you brought us all up. We've all got really good values and work ethics as a result of that. And us kids, that's the result of a good education, us kids are very proud indeed of you.
Well, yes.
Now you're
So-
walking away.
So a toast from your children, your grandchildren, and now even your great-grandchildren, together with your friends and relations present here today. Happy birthday, Mum.
Happy birthday.